Hello, dear students. My topic for today is natural disaster. As you have already learned, the difference between natural disaster and man-made disaster, and also there's a classifications between natural hazards and human hazards. So, what is disaster and what is hazards? We have already uh, knew through explanations. Disaster is an event. It is already event occurred event which is creating a loss of lives and property. I mean, it is measured on the base of magnitudes of loss of life and property. Whereas hazard is just a threat. If this is the thing that occurs, then disaster can occur. So it is a threat, and hazard is an event. Today we are going to discuss about natural disaster, specifically on natural disaster. And next time I'll be discussing on the basically on human-induced disaster. So these are basically two broad branches or two broad topic to be covered. So hold on, let me share with you with screen share because through screen share only you can understand visual image. Uh, hold on, we'll go to the PPT points and yes, this is the PPT points and yes, let me present you all full screen. So no, this is this hold on. I'm not getting. Okay, then this is the point. So lecture on natural disaster. What are natural disaster? Natural means which is occurring from the mother earth or from mother environment. So which is not man-made. It is natural. Now this, let us see, what the world is always changing. Because of the changing, there has been disaster even before also, natural disaster, and human disaster is basically of recent phenomena. So natural disaster is a dynamic phenomena. It has been occurring in the earlier times. Now also it is occurring. So you have a different kind of environment. Our uh, because of the structure build of the earth, then earthquake occurs. So volcano will occur. Then because of the environment covering, rainfall will occur. So if there is huge amount of rainfall, then lowland area will be, I mean, submerged. So that is called flood. So we'll be coming to the point. Natural disaster are changes which are so great that they may cause damage to the shape of the land. Yeah, this is nothing to be discussed. Great changes happen deep inside the earth on its surface. Yes, great changes can happen both inside our earth and also outside of the earth. The outer part of the earth happens because of different kinds of weather. So you have basically disaster occurring from the within the earth. Within the earth are all those volcano type earthquake and which is occurring from interior structure of the earth. So on the outer surface of the earth too, you have environment. You have environment, air, uh, rainfall. So these are when there is huge rainfall. When there is no rainfall, also drought will occur. When there is huge rainfall, and in the lowland areas there will be flood, and you have storms coming like cyclone, and these storms are they are moving from kilometers to 200 kilometers per hour. So there are different types of storms are there. Like in tropical area, there is cyclone. In other places, the same cyclone is known as tornadoes. So basically, it is divided and it is known in different places by different name. So yes, internal source of energy, impact of asteroids and decay. These are natural process. Asteroids used to strike the Earth on how the wall building process take place, how the wall was formed through the Big Bang theory. There are many asteroids. I mean, small meteoroids, asteroids are floating on the space. This space also can, if there is a collide between them, then naturally there will be disaster. So these things are also part of natural disaster, which is not in our hand. So totally in the hands of the, I mean, natural or the revolving process. So this is something of the origin of the solar system. Yes, how solar system have originated, and from there the earth was formed. So these things you may not know now. It's a very interesting theory. So earth was very hot at that time, so it was just a pieces of small pieces of the sun. So this way the whole solar system has been formed. So naturally it is not formed in a very silent way, it is formed in a very big bang theory. Now you see this art divided into two parts. The rising magma. This is the interior structure of the earth from where this volcano will come out and will create devastating effect to the surface. Then earthquake also occurs from the interior structure because of the plate movement, and it is on the surface where you will see this weather and climate. And because of the weather, climate, lightning, thunder, all these are also part of surface phenomena. I mean weather phenomena, cyclones. So on the surface and also from the interior, on the basis of source only. So consequences of are dynamic. Yes, our earth is moving and revolving around the sun. Suddenly, if it stops, to earthquake or any force will create that will, I mean, throw out all the living beings from this planet. So because of the moving, so likely many things are likely to occur. So what is earthquake? So earthquake I will be explaining in your part also detailedly. Today is just a listing of natural disaster. So very important is earthquake and very common. So why do earthquake occurs? You will know. Earthquakes are part of this. When there is a plate movement, then shaking of the earth crust takes place. Okay, so when the shaking of the earthquake I mean crust take place, then any building or any structure, human structure can collapse. So that is basis on the magnitude of earthquake, whether it is from 0 to 10, 0 to 8, then it is called high magnitude, or it may be dependent on the engineering plan also. If the building is not planned properly in a engineering way, so that it is prone to collapsing. So volcanoes, you see the volcanoes is what volcanoes are also coming, emitting all these smokes and dust from the interior of the earth. You will be learning today. I'll be just giving this. So lots of smokes and lots of molten lava will come out from the our earth. So that is called volcano. Now it is mountain building. Mountain building is a part of natural process. That is how we get this Himalayan mountain, Andes mountain, Alps mountain. Most of the mountains and hills of northeast are also basis on mountain building only. So these are young fall mountain, and this has occurred because of the earthquakes and the plates movement that have occurred in the very I mean, in the Himalayan time. So in the geological, you have millions of years. At that time, it has occurred. So basically, these things are due to the plate movement. So what are natural disaster? You already know. So you see uh, volcanoes. So volcano is an eruption, is the spurting of the gases and not lava from opening the earth's crust with pressure from deep inside the earth forces as ash, gas, and molten rocks to the surface. So earth forces ash, gas, and molten rocks used to come out. So it is like a mountain from where these materials used to come out, and this caused lots of devastating to the nearby settlement areas. They can really burn up, or they will just cover the surrounding area, and lots of cities were destroyed by the process of volcanoes. So you see, this is how volcano takes place. It's a mountain, and yes, scientists have classified into various type: active volcano, dormant volcano, and what you call extinct volcano on the basis of that. So dormant extinct volcano, extinct means one it has occurred, it is no more. It is called extinct or dead volcano. So sleeping volcano is once it has occurred. So in the near future it can occur. That is why it is called sleeping. So active volcanoes are those which are occurring even today. That is in Pacific Ocean, Ring of Fire. Every day till now, today also, this volcano used to occur in that region. Mm, So earthquake is a violent shaking of the ground. Sometimes it is so strong that ground splits apart. So when parts of the earth called plates, earthquake basically occur due to the plates movement. Our if you know the structure of the earth, it is made into crust, mantle, and core. This there are then it is broken into different plates. These plates used to move away. So when two plates move together, then there will be, I mean, clashing of that, and destruction of that area, and whatever is there in the, I mean, soft rock. These soft rocks or soft rocks will come up. So crumbling will take place there. So that is how mountain buildings have especially occurred by earthquake. So when two plates move together, then these soft rocks will come together. So you see this. This is this two plates move together, and it will form this way. So this way, how the this is how the hills and mountain is being formed. So earthquakes are dangerous because we build buildings, multi-story buildings. So if it is not built in an engineering way, RCC building, then it can collapse. So earthquake itself is not a very big disaster for human. In Japan, especially, earthquake used to occur every day, but their buildings are so strong. Not strong means it is made in a technological way that it can resist to some extent. And even if that kind of earthquake occurs in India, it causes massive disaster because our buildings are not that uh, planned in an engineered way. So this is called cyclone, hurricane, tornado, or typhoon. So yes, this is basically a weather phenomena. Because of the weather phenomena, we get this type of disaster. So cyclone, hurricane, tornado are basically tropical wind. Eh, and it is known by different name in Indian regions, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or India. This is known as cyclone. The cyclones used to come every season, every rainfall time, and it creates massive disaster in this coastal area. Basically, coastal area where the land are being located near to the sea. So you know that cyclone basically originate from the sea or an ocean, Same thing, hurricane. Hurricane is a term from uh, US. US also face lots of strong storm that is known as hurricane. So cause lots of disaster. Even developed countries faces lots of disaster. They take. I mean, it is so powerful that they can leave anything. Even the cars can be driven away. If you see some pictures, you will be shocked to see. So tornado is in Japan. Yes, tornado is or USA, but typhoon is in Japan. So typhoon is also so strong. Can see in the even in YouTube about the effect. It can just leave off. Even the cars are being blown away. Uh, that much is the power of that storm. So it's a fierce storm. Every day wind is there. But if this wind travel from 100 to 200 kilometer per hour, then this become very ferocious. So whatever is there, it will just blow away. And in India, especially in Orissa also, cyclone has occurred. Around 10,000 people died. But now also cyclone is to occur, but our satellites, we just inform them beforehand. So now that much of disaster is not there because they just move away beforehand when the cyclone will come. And even our scientists also tell us that before 1 week that there will be cyclone in that area. That's why today we will not find so much of disaster. That is why it can be managed. Disaster can be managed. If planned properly, no nothing will be there. Uh, But if it is not planned properly, then disaster is sure to occur. Hazards will be there. Earthquake will be there every time. But if we are careful, if our buildings and everything we are alert, then it's not a problem. Bigger type of cyclone, hurricanes, if it comes to it, will be problem. But normally, it is not going to create a much big problem if we are prepared. So avalanche is a movement of snow. So you will come to know this. What is avalanche? Even in films, in YouTube, uh, in the places like glacial area or snow area, where the land mass is covered by those snow and this ice, totally covered, like in Siachen glacier or in Antarctica. Now, avalanche is just like the landslide. Landslide, we get it in our places in Northeast where land used to slide away, it blocks the land, or wherever the settlements are located, it will just cover that. So, occurring in Mizoram, most of the time during rainy seasons, or in Northeast, every place is prone to this because soil is very soft during rainy season. It just and blocks the road. So it causes lots of disaster to the people, to the economy, although it is not causing loss to the life also. Some places also it causes lots of life. Now avalanche is just the sliding of those snow. So snows are I mean located there. If any movement, great movement start or something, I mean sliding starts, the vast movement of this snow will glide away or fall down. So when it fall down, it will just come in a very a huge way. It will just cover all those whatever is there, whatever is there near to them. So it will just cover them. And if there is a settlement, if there is a city, it can just cover up them. That much has the quantity of those snows there. So it's a very dangerous, especially for those trackers who used to go for trackers, games and sport. Sometimes avalanche. You must have heard even some of our armies who do training or I mean operating in this Kashmir area. So in those snow places, they get covered with snow, and you find many of them dying to that also. So it's very dangerous. Snow melting and snow freezing melting. Okay. So flood is caused by overflow of water, covers the land that is usually dry. So floods is a natural phenomenon. Flood is basically nature. It has occurred before also. Flood. It is not that it is occurring now. Also. If it is a lowland, if there is a rainfall, and if there is no drainage system properly, so water will be locked there. Flooding also occurs. Uh, at first, when the rainfall occurs, most of the rainwater will go down deep inside the ground. I mean groundwater. It will just observe. But when the water table will start to rise, it cannot absorb anymore water inside the ground. So when it cannot absorb inside the ground, most of the water will remain above the surface. So that time, surely flood is going to occur. And lowland areas too, it will be flood. If you go and settle in the near to the river, so naturally there will be flood. People will be affected. So if people are actually, I mean, if government wishes that people not to settle in the lowland areas near to the river sea, so flood can be easily. I mean, flood is not a problem. Cities floods are because of the drainage system. So proper drainage, stockage of all those. Some garbages it blocks the. I mean, if there is huge rainfall, it is known to be flood. But then simple one, no, I mean 1 or 2 hour flood, 1 or 2 hour duration of rainfall or 4 to duration of rainfall, causing huge flood in cities. These are basically mismanagement of our drainage system. So same rainfall occurred in USA, in Japan, but they don't face so much of that kind of flood. So in India, you will find Mumbai flood, what Kolkata flood, just 4 5 duration of rainfall. And moreover, it is located on the plain area. You will not find floods in the, I mean, to the hilly area. So the water floods is a common phenomena. Every time it will come. Drought. So drought is just opposite to flood. What is a drought? Drought is the lack of rain for a long time. So if you don't have rainfall, if particular area receive less rainfall, something 50 centimeter or 25 centimeter per year, then that area can be considered as drought because much rainfall is not there. So India actually faces drought-prone area. Northeast, yes, it is not a drought-prone area. We receive lots of rainfall every year. You have Cherrapunji, Monsiram receiving the highest rainfall of the world. But clearly in India, we have places like Telangana, some parts of Nasik, Maharashtra, where people are not getting rain. Rajasthan, and those areas are totally, I mean, if there is no rainfall, so land will dry, crack will occur there. So agriculture, everything will be disturbed. People livelihood also will be disturbed. So drought also has effect even in Middle East and Saudi Arabia because of prolonged no rainfall and drought region. That region has turned into a desert. So if there is no rainfall, even for 2 years or 1 year, Tripura also will turn into desert. So drought drought can make the region desert. So no plants and vegetations are also going to thrive. Only cactus type will thrive. So drought can be controlled by planting trees and vegetation. If we don't plant trees, vegetation, there will be no rainfall. In a matter of 10 years, even Tripura can turn into desert area. It is not only that we are always thinking about Arabia, that they are only having the desert. So forest fire or bushfire. Forest fire basically why it is considered under this natural disaster. The forest fire can be man-made also, but this fires is not domestic fire, just like LPG gas or your house is burned. This is like a wildfire. This wildfire occurs in the forest area. So not necessarily someone has to live there that fire will come out. Sometimes with the lightning, with the basis of lightning only, because the forests are so dry, leaves are so dry. With the help of lightning or natural lightning during rainfall, not rainfall, during lightning time, thunder and lightning time, can spark fire itself. Men need not to go and lit the fire there. So you have huge land coming into fire. Months after months, the forests are being burned. Like in Australia, once it happened. Uh, Large acres of land, the size of Tripura, is burning. The forest is burning there. It cannot be stopped. Even the government tried to stop uh, through helicopters by putting water, but it's not stopping. Such was the extent of the of fire in those areas. Even in Canada also, during winter time, uh, wood will become so dry, and those forests are basically containing a type of oily type. So it will burn months after months. It will burn. So it creates lots of disaster to wild animals as well as to the people living there. So not like just one day the forest burn and it just stop. It burns for months. So that is why it is called a natural disaster. Forest fire, bushfire. This bushfire is known as in Australia. Australia, you also continent. There are places where there are no rainfall. So these vegetations are so dry. So it turn into forest fire. So yes, I hope you have understood of today's natural disaster. Basically, this origination is from natural. This is not man-made. That is not in our hand. It has been occurring from time to time. It is occurring now also. Strong cyclones are there. Earthquake will be there. Even after us, even before us also, earthquake were there. And that is how this mountain buildings took place. Volcano was there. And because of volcano only, you have different types of rocks. If there was no volcano, we would not have this. So these are called basically hazards. These are called basically hazards for humankind. I mean, there is a danger if earthquake can occur. But if earthquake occur, if people die, then it becomes a disaster. If earthquake occur, if people no die, nothing happen, then it is not a disaster. So disaster is like storm can come. So if there is mass people dying there, loss of lives and property, then we can term, okay, this is a huge disaster. This is minor disaster. If earthquake occur, you cannot call simply disaster. Okay, people loss of lives and property has to be there. So earthquake, cyclones, these things will be there. They will be occurring. But if people there is no threats to lives and property, it is not called disaster. Disaster is called only when it cause havoc to the loss of lives and property, and lots of people died in that area. Okay, so